Today I'm going to be making a pour over while reviewing these gloves from Upstate Stock. What is a pour over? Well, if you use a machine at home, it's basically the same thing except you're the machine. You're going to want to rinse your filter before you start. This gets rid of any paper taste in the filter, but it also, it keeps this intact on the actual topper. That's professional. But it also preheats your mug. I use the Kalita Wave 185. If you have watched any length of YouTube, you've probably seen already a bunch of different materials and instructions because everybody seems to be making coffee these days. Admittedly, the appropriate weather to be wearing gloves such as these, it will probably be too cold for your fingers to be out. Some sacrifices there, but let's move on. Step 2, grind your coffee. I am using a 1:15 ratio of coffee to water. So I will use 14 grams of water to 220 grams of. I will be using 14 grams of coffee to 220 grams of water. Also, you want to use a grind that is medium leaning towards the fine if you need to do any adjustments. On my Brats Encore, I use the setting anywhere from 12 to 20 for pour over. These are the oatmeal melange gloves from Upstate Stock with the natural deerskin leather palm. The materials used in this are 85% ragwool, 15% nylon. Ragwool, according to their website, is traditional workwear / gardening wool blend. The addition of nylon content allows for shape retention and durability, while the wool provides moisture wicking to keep your hands warm and insulated. I had a pair of mustard colored gloves for a long time, maybe about 8 years, from Target that I wore every season. They were very thin towards the end. The thumb part here was super low because it had lost so much yarn and you can see through them. I don't think they were doing any amount of protecting my hands from the cold at that point. Your coffee is ground. Get it in the filter, flatten your coffee bed, tear your scale, and do the first pour to about 40 grams to allow the coffee to bloom and expel any residual carbon dioxide it may be retaining, which will make the coffee taste bad, and you will see that by the amount of bubbles the coffee produces upon first introducing water to it. This one's not so many bubbles. You can go more or less on the first bloom. I'm going to get to the next pour very quickly. Upstate Stock partnered with a tannery in upstate New York where they ethically produce, they tan and cull the leather for the palms. They are knitted in New Jersey and then sewn and finished in Brooklyn. Second pour, I went to about 50 grams. Now I'm going to about 120. There's a way to do it and a way to experiment. And we're gonna see how this tastes. Let's talk about that deer skin palm, which is what attracted me to these gloves in the first place. I had been looking for a pair of fingerless gloves to replace the failing ones from Target, and I just came across these in all my research of workwear and vintage stuff. These naturally came up, and what I originally liked was the navy and tan. However, I felt like navy might be not really I have to do the next pour. I went with the oatmeal because I feel like they maybe go with what I wear normally. And I just got it for the cool factor. Upon wearing them, I didn't realize how functional the leather palm actually is. I lost track of, I was thinking too much. I went to 240 grams. We'll see. I decided to purchase these purely on look and materials alone, and then upon using them, realize the full functionality of having a leather palm patch. This palm adds an extra level of grip. I noticed it when I was driving and my hands were like on the steering wheel. You know how gloves have that soft, like slippery material, and it's not a big deal, but this was like, oh, so cool. I'm using my phone and it's sitting nicely in my hand. So that's a pretty cool function. I am curious to know the durability of this, since it is in a high level area, high level. This is an area that gets a lot of movement. So I will be curious to see how the leather patch will stand up over time. It is the beginning of March, so my time of wearing these is not going to be around very much. And I'm also interested to see the patina that these take. My coffee is finished. Not before it cools. Why does this taste so strong? This is a poor cup of coffee, but nothing a little cream can't fix. Anyway, let's get on to sizing. I put a little extra thought into it. I actually measured my hand. I tried to do some research online, but there's not a lot of resources for things like gloves. Like, people aren't reviewing gloves. It's not a big deal. You buy a pair of gloves, if they don't fit, oh well, not a big loss. The only reason why I was concerned with sizing is because, well, number one, buying online can get annoying, having to return something and get a new size and ship it back and have that waiting period. And it just feels excessive. It feels wasteful at times. And also, I have gotten a pair of gloves, actually just recently, full-sized pair of gloves in the men's section of an outdoor store, size small, and they were kind of too big. These gloves are meant to be a little more oversized just because of the style of them. They fit perfectly, completely snug. It's better. This is definitely the type of material that looks like it would be itchy. It definitely looks like an itchy wool sweater, but just when I think it's about to be itchy, it's not, and they're perfectly fine and comfortable and warm, but not sweaty, which is the moisture wicking is great with wool. I know these are just gloves, you know, not a big investment to worry about, but that's just my 2 cents. And if there is a resource out there talking about a pair of gloves, I'd be happy to be that resource, because I was looking for a video such as this. They are $39 on the Upstate Stock website. Not bad considering the materials used. The care put into this product is really apparent, and I hope that these will last me a very long time. That is it. That is all for this one of me making a pour over and talking about a simple pair of gloves at the end of the winter season, just in time for, you know, maybe there's a sale, I don't know. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be seeing you.